incredible! This place is overwhelming! Boys, be careful! We don't want to be history before we even begin!
We can't believe it. This traffic is to be our home for the next 3 months.
It was an inspired moment of madness which found us three brothers in India. We are here to attempt an auto rickshaw journey across these maddening streets, from Kolkata in the east to Wagah in the west, if we live to tell the tale.
Come on, buddy, come on! Go! Steve! Yes, okay. Show those guys! Woohoo! Yes! I'm going in! If I get killed, Mom, it's the boys' fault. I'm going in. All right, boys. Here it comes. Get ready, boys. Woohoo! This is tough stuff. I'm the youngest of the Egar brothers. The boys call me lazy, but I like to just call myself relaxed. We all grew up together on the east coast of Canada. My nickname's Krusty, but my real name's Steve. And don't let the beard and mud fool you. I'm an international banker in London, England.
I'm Chris. I'm the middle brother. I'm the strong and silent one. I help keep the peace when things get rough. As children, we grew up sharing bunk beds together. Now we're traveling the world. I work in Sydney, Australia in banking.
My name is Jeff, and I'm the oldest and the boldest of us three Egar brothers. I believe life is short, and I don't want to spend it all sitting behind a desk. So I quit my job in Japan and left my apartment in Tokyo to come and do this trip, and luckily, my brothers came with me.
Finally, it's here, our dream machine.
It seems preposterous to think that we are going to self-drive this 3-wheeled wonder all of 3,000 kilometers.
It's open to the world on all 3 sides. It's easy to maneuver. It's got style, and it's funky.
The first thing is to get used to driving our new ride.
This rickshaw is quite easy to drive, really. You got your clutch in your gears in your left hand, exhilarator in your right, foot brake, and of course, the Indian all-time favorite, the horn.
No stereo, no AC, no seat belts. This thing is nothing more than a tin can on wheels.
We're gonna make quite the sight. 3 white men in a 3-wheeler.
We have been saving for a long time to make this trip a reality. So no fancy hotels and expensive restaurants for us. Just a room with a simple bed and a toilet. We also dressed down to the local attire to beat the heat and blend with the crowd.
We needed a permit from the Indian government to drive the auto rickshaw across state borders, and that was going very slowly. This gave us some time to explore Kolkata.
Our machine's ability to maneuver through tiny alleyways brought us to one of the many unique sights Kolkata has to offer.
Kumartuli literally translates into an area of potters. But they are not just ordinary potters. They are magicians with clay.
Our first impression was that they were made from molds, but the artist actually fashions each image individually. They're made of a straw base, and layers of clay are skillfully added on.
The detail and emotion captured in these clay statues actually makes us feel like we're surrounded by Indian living gods.
During the festival of Durga Puja, these idols will be decorated and placed in makeshift temples. After 10 days of worship and festivities, they'll be discarded in the water. Kolkata is the only place in the world where you'll still find hand-drawn rickshaws.
Oh my lord! Cello, cello, cello!
To us, these rickshaws were unique and exotic, and we wanted to give them a try.
Woo! Hard work. My feet are sore already.
Initially, I held up the weight of the rickshaw with my arms, but the trick, as Dharmendra told me, was to hold the long handles in such a way as to balance the weight on the wheels. This way, I'd just be pulling the rickshaw and not carrying it along.
This thing is so hard on your body, I don't know how they do it. My shoulders are sore, my back is a mess, my arms are aching, and they do it all in bare feet. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it day in and day out. It's mad.
But it's one comfy way to travel. Can't beat it.
Street-side soothsayers and astrologers you may find the world over. But who ever heard of a parrot predicting your future?
This is amazing. The parrot just picked a card relating to a safe journey. I think that's a real coincidence considering we're going to be on a long trip in that rickshaw. I think this is going to bring us good luck. Bring it on. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
To ensure a trouble-free ride, we decided to get our auto rickshaw blessed.
Let's hope this blessing prevents us from getting hit by a monster truck. Here's to our journey!
Finally, our permissions were through, and we were all cleared to leave.
We packed our belongings to fit the back of the rickshaw, keeping everything to a bare minimum.
Having tasted the might of Kolkata traffic, we started off before dawn.
There was an air of calm about the occasion. Here we were in a foreign country, undertaking a crazy ride in a crazy contraption. Our fate was now in the hands of the Grand Trunk Road.
We are traveling along the Grand Trunk Road, the road of Hindustan, along which all of India spreads out to the left and to the right.
But the rickshaw is great. It's the best way to travel.
Yeah.
Only way to cover the country. We have barely begun, and here we are, already checking the map to see how much road we have left to go.
Our first big stop on this huge journey is the Jain Pilgrimage Center of Parasnath. Centered around a hilltop at an altitude of 1,500 meters, it is accessed through a steep climb. Jeff, however, had other ideas.
This is the first time any of us have seen palanquins. It is such an old and archaic custom, we couldn't believe it was still in use today. We're headed to a Jain temple at the top of this steep hill. It's over a 45-degree angle and a half a day's hike. Because I'm the oldest brother, these guys have to carry me the whole way.
This is not fair. It's just not fair. There's not a chance I'm carrying his carcass all the way up this hill. We're brothers. We share everything. He's gonna have a turn too.
Parsnap is one of the holiest centers of Jainism in India. There are 24 temples here, and each one of them is different from the rest.
It was our first Jain temple ever, and it was simple, open, clean, and quiet. After the hard climb, it was a nice place to rest our minds and bodies. The people here were very kind and welcoming, but their custom of covering themselves completely before puja felt very strange and uncomfortable.
We didn't feel like we were going to a temple to worship, but more like we were going to a costume party.
We didn't understand their religious rituals, but they were very peaceful and calming to watch.
This Jain temple is so sacred. You're required to wear this garment so you don't defile this place of worship. You even have to cover your face so when you're saying your prayers, spit doesn't come out of your mouth. They even have Canadian dollars here. And at 30 rupees for this, I can even turn a profit. I can't even shop.
How long you shoewalla?
20 years.
I complain about being in the office, in an air-conditioned office. This guy's here for 20 years on the side of the road. Pollution, dirt, rain or shine. No complaints, still smiling. Unbelievable. Good job. Dhanyavad ji, dhanyavad.
We couldn't believe our eyes when we saw our first naked Jain monk. We saw him on the streets, walking at a brisk pace. People were scrambling to touch his feet and pay him respect.
We followed him to a temple where he spent a few moments in silence before the deity. When he was finished, we asked him why he was naked.
Nudity means non-wearing clothes. Or Digambar means directions are our codes.
We thought we would feel uncomfortable talking to a naked monk, but his power and energy made us completely forget that he was stark naked.
I think the best message today I will take with me forever is live and let live.
In this day and age, a man who wears no clothes, rips out all his hair, touches no money and travels only by foot is absolutely unimaginable.
In India, this man is considered a saint. In any other country, he'd be locked up.
As we chugged on through the night, a strange sight befell our eyes. Hundreds of barefoot men dressed in bright orange were trudging through the darkness with dogged determination. They moved with a purpose and weren't distracted by the bustling street stalls. Once every year, before the full moon in the month of August, thousands of Kavariyas undertake a unique walk of faith. They carry water from the river Ganga to the town of Deoghar, 105 kilometers away, as an offering to Lord Shiva.
The water is collected in little pots and carried on the shoulders in a contraption called a kavad. Not a drop of water spills out of the kavad, nor does the kavad ever touch the ground throughout this long journey.
These people aren't athletes. They haven't trained for this.
They endure scorching heat, torrential rain, blisters, mosquitoes, and diarrhea over the course of their journey. And the only thing that gets them through is their unwavering belief in Lord Shiva.
When the pilgrim has to rest, he hangs the kavad on bamboo poles planted along the way. Every amenity is made available to the pilgrim.
It is a frenzy at the Baidyanath temple in Deoghar. There are lines of kavariyas waiting to pour the holy water inside the temple. Others offer prayers and penance to Shiva.
All the pilgrims have come here to the Baba Baidyanath temple. They're pouring half the holy water on the Shiva Mandir and taking the other half home for good luck. We are also bringing our good luck up to the Wagah border with us. We had taken a detour of nearly 250 kilometers while following the Kavadiyas. And on the way back to the GT road, we drove through an Indian village. The first thing that struck us was the simplicity of life.
Our little auto rickshaw was the perfect vehicle to negotiate the narrow lanes and sharp turns. We parked our ride and got to explore the village and meet some of the locals.
The monsoon season meant that the work in the paddy fields was in full swing. Colorfully dressed women were patiently transplanting wisps of rice seedlings.
The women here don't mix with outsiders, especially three white men. So a man was sent to the field to show us how it was done.
After a while, the hard work became tiresome, and we started to clown around with the ladies in the rice paddy.
Later that evening, the villagers invited us to watch the local witch doctor perform a healing.
It was nothing like conventional Western medicine. When we get sick at home, we go to the hospital. We learned that here, in rural India, they don't always have that luxury.
We were skeptical as to whether or not this form of healing really worked, but it was a mesmerizing way to end our day in the village.
For the next few days, it rained and rained. The sky hung low over the horizon. Everything was dripping wet.
The water made driving slow. The traffic was heavy as usual. Compared to the dead, gray superhighways of the West, the GT Road was a river of color, life, and laughter.
We stopped frequently for steaming hot cups of chai and just watched the big trucks roar by.
In a long journey like this, you sometimes ask yourself why. Why did we undertake so monumental a task?
More than 2,500 years ago, a young man called Siddhartha Gautama asked similar questions. He was trying to find the meaning behind a journey called life.
This Bodhi tree, which stands here, is a descendant of the very tree under which the Buddha sat and meditated.
Monks were prostrating themselves for hours on wooden planks in order to gain good karma for their next rebirth.
My brothers and I added our own prayer to the millions of others that have been chanted in the past and that will be chanted in the future.
Walking around the temple, I could feel all the stress and worry of the trip released from my body.
Chris was always interested in Tibetan Buddhism. So we visited the Tibetan Buddhist monastery in Bodh Gaya. The monsoon clouds had parted and the temple was bathed in sunlight. Inside, we could hear the monks at prayer.
Listening to the evening prayer made us think that Tibetan Buddhism is one of the most vibrant and colorful religions in the world.
The Grand Trunk Road,
One of the oldest roads in the world, built by the 16th century ruler Sher Shah Suri, the road stretches from Peshawar in Pakistan to Sonargaon in Bangladesh, a distance of 2,500 kilometers.
we are proud to be the first three brothers to drive across it in an auto rickshaw.
Our next stop was Varanasi, one of the oldest and most sacred cities on the planet.
Varanasi has been a center for learning and religion for over 3,000 years. The Hindus believe that bathing in the holy Ganges at Varanasi washes away all your sins and is a direct pathway to salvation.
The Ghats, or the banks of the river, are the city's biggest attraction. It attracts the rich and poor like magnets. We gain good karma by giving alms to the many beggars and homeless.
Entering the maze of narrow alleyways that make up the old city, we felt as if the hands of time had been turned back hundreds of years.
Occasionally, we even encountered groups of mourners carrying the dead to the burning ghats along the river. Being cremated in Varanasi is the ultimate desire of every Hindu. As night settled on the banks of the sacred river, a pundit put tilaks on our foreheads after performing a small puja. We felt a sense of calm and well-being as we sat back to witness the worship of the Ganga.
We found ourselves swept up in the ancient rituals of fire, water, drums, and chanting. As the ceremony reached its peak, we finally understood why Varanasi is one of the holiest cities in the entire world.
It's crazy, absolutely insane. Driving an auto rickshaw in India at night is suicidal. There's buses, trucks, people, cars all over the road. I'm so exhausted, I just want to get the hell out of this rickshaw and go to bed. This rickshaw is beating the crap out of my body. I've got to take a break.
We were nearing Delhi when we came across a traditional Indian mela or fair, and of course we couldn't pass by without a look.
We bought tickets to the magic show. The magician had his own unique style.
Our favorite trick was the box of swords. We still don't know how he did it.
Next up was the dubious-looking spinning umbrellas.
I've never had a king cobra around my neck before. It's crazy.
We were the only Westerners there, and perhaps the only ones many of the crowd had ever seen. So we quickly became another act in the circus.
In India, they say old is gold, and this dinosaur of a camera is the perfect example.
Back home, we have old black and white photos of our great-grandparents that must have been shot with a camera like this.
The final show we went to was the Motorcycle Bowl. The stuntmen risked their lives with every turn, but made it look like a casual stroll in the park. Then, it was taken to a whole new level when they brought out the cars. Complete madness.
After the assault of the noise and the crowds, it was time for some quiet contemplation.
At the end of a hard day on the road, there's no fancy hotels or comfortable beds for us. It's a charpoy, an Indian string bed, and the stars.
We were resting in a dhaba, an Indian truck stop. The meals here are cheap and there is no rental for the beds. Unbelievable, but true. except that there's no roof and no privacy.
I love these dabas, but they're a hard place to get a good night's sleep. The traffic is noisy, and the mosquitoes have a better meal than I do.
One of us usually supervises the cooking and decides on the menu. That way, we can avoid the really fiery chilies and the heavy masalas.
Which is this?
Today,
Yes.
it was Chris's turn.
What are you cooking? Let's have a look. Aloo gobi, potato and cauliflower. Now this is why I love dabas. Whew. The chilies are getting in my eyes.
Come on, Squids, it's late. I'm hungry. Come on. Food.
Coming.
The dhaba owners are extremely friendly, especially to us brothers.
This is my favorite part of the day, mealtime.
We are quite a novelty for them, as foreigners don't usually rough it out like the Indian truck drivers.
These dabas make such good food. They don't look the best when you look at them from the road, but the food is fantastic.
It's so cheap. Only pennies for a nice meal.
In India, they eat with 5 spoons. Ek do tin char bach.
No forks and knives, only your hands.
Can we go in and look?
After 2 months in the road, we were familiar with the monster trucks, but never had a chance to be inside one until a friendly truck driver offered us a peek.
He looks like an Indian truck driver.
I'd feel much safer in one of these than our rickshaw. Look at the size of this thing.
We are doing this trip only once, but these truck drivers do this for a lifetime.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see these guys again at another dhaba down the road.
We're in Lodi Garden in Delhi, and we just stumbled across this interesting group of people.
We're gonna go join them. It looks hilarious.
Laughter is the best medicine.
This is probably unique in the whole world, a laughter club.
If you weep, you have to weep alone. And if you laugh, the world will laugh with you.
This is a great stress buster, and I feel good already.
The Laughter Club set the mood for the next few days. We rested and decided to indulge in something we had been planning since the beginning of this trip, to jazz up our ride.
This is a special trip across India, and we want this rickshaw to look special as well.
If we're going to be in this rickshaw for thousands of kilometers and months at a stretch, we've got to have this puppy looking good. Bring on the color.
By the time we finished, it was no longer just an auto rickshaw, but a wonderful piece of artwork and a fourth member of our team.
All the orderly traffic in India's finest city made us feel pretty dizzy. We longed for the rough and tumble of the highway. The soul of India, we felt, was to be found in the towns and the villages.
We had planted rice seedlings more than 2 months and 1,500 kilometers ago in the state of Jharkhand. And now, in the fertile farmlands of Punjab, we decided to lend a hand threshing the harvested paddy.
We're having a competition in rice bashing. I think I'm the champion. Come on. Never. Let's get ready to rumble! Ah! Come on.
For us, this is fun. But for the laborers, it is actually a back-breaking chore.
This was a baby bundle. Too easy. Ah! Ah! Champion rice basher!
The harvest season is a time for traditional merrymaking. In Punjab, the farmers performed the traditional Bhangra, a dance characterized for its vigor and robustness.
I enjoyed the groovy rhythm and great dance routine. But with my flailing arms and 2 left feet, I knew I would never make it as a Bhangra dancer.
That's about how long we lasted. We lost the rhythm and ran out of energy.
I can't do it. This means long live the Sikh religion.
We were welcomed with great warmth when we entered the Dera, camp of the Sikh warriors.
These Punjabi Sikh warriors are mixing us a herbal drink. It contains poppy seeds and pepper and rose petals and sometimes opium. And it's supposed to give you strength and energy.
Wow. Very strong. Very good, very good.
It is spicy and tingles.
Little peppery, sugary, just a load of spices.
After the gracious welcome, there were more surprises in store for us. The Nihangs are a semi-nomadic warrior tribe. They consider themselves the protectors of the Sikh faith.
This traditional martial art is symbolic of the historic battles fought to protect their faith.
Feeling courageous in my warrior outfit, I pushed through the crowd to try my hand at the ancient art. But even with my brother's encouragement, I was no match for the practiced young warrior.
Get in, boys, get in, get in. Get in the rickshaw. Get in.
Though we were in awe of their rare lifestyle, they were equally impressed by ours. Just before leaving, they piled into a rickshaw for a quick glimpse of our life on the road.
A short ride away from their Dera was the edifice that the Nihang so dearly sought to protect, the Golden Temple of Amritsar.
Every visitor has to wash his hands and feet and cover their heads before entering the temple. The Golden Temple is the Sikh community's holiest shrine. Its 4 doorways are open to visitors from all corners of the world.
The dazzling sight of the bright sun reflecting off the Golden Temple in the center of the holy pool left me breathless.
With their turbans and full beards, the Sikhs are easy to identify anywhere in the world. The Sikhs believe that the scriptures sound hollow and hypocritical to a hungry man. So, they provide free food to all in their communal kitchen. All of us joined in rolling chapatis or unleavened bread.
The Golden Temple here in Amritsar is a factory of religion, cooperation, and love. Few places in the world can you get free food, free drinking water, and free accommodation 365 days a year. Everything is done on a voluntary basis, and I felt good helping out with the kitchen duties before eating.
In this Sikh temple's free kitchen, they serve more than 80,000 pilgrims a day, and they use over 20 sacks of flour, 900 liters of dal, and hundreds of kilograms of onions. It's unbelievable. It's like a religious factory. The object of veneration of the Sikhs is the Holy Book, or the Guru Granth Sahib. The Holy Book is continuously recited from morning till night. At around 10 in the evening, it is ceremoniously carried in a palanquin and retired for the night.
There is a mad scramble to carry the palanquin in his short journey. We barely manage to lend a hand and be part of a holy procession.
Tomorrow, our trip comes to an end. It's beautiful, holy nights like tonight that we're going to miss so much. India's opened her eyes to a whole new world, and in a few hours, it's all over.
We've grown attached to a rickshaw. She's taken us on good roads, on bad roads, past monster trucks, and through some crazy traffic. Tomorrow, we have to give her up. It's going to be hard, really hard.
We're going to miss India. The people, the generosity, the food, the chai, the chaos. This is a beautiful country, and we're going to be sad to go. With the Wagah border finally in sight, we fell under a spell of despondency and euphoria at the same time.
Ten more kilometers to the Wagah border, and the trip is over.
We made it, Ma! We made it! Woohoo! All right, we're here! Woohoo! Thank you, India! Woohoo! We made it along! Woohoo! Yeah!
After all we went through, the saber rattling between two nuclear powers is the perfect note to end our journey.